Yo, what's up, YouTube? Edwin the Comic Jabroni coming at you. It's New Comic Book Day, and I got a stack of books that I'm ready to show you guys and do some reviews. So stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. Edwin the Comic Jabroni. Like I told you, today was New Comic Book Day, and I went by my local comic shop and I picked up some books, and I'm going to do some reviews. But hey, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, think about hitting that subscribe button, guys. If you're into comic books and video games, retro video games, some toys, I've got videos for every kind of collector out there. Also doing bourbon reviews. And remember to hit this link right here to go to my giveaway for 700 subscribers. I'm doing the Walking Dead giveaway, and I'm also giving away a Black Cat #1 Walmart exclusive 3-pack of comics, man, still sealed. So hit that button. It's going to tell you how to enter that contest, and next week on my New Comic Book Day pickups video, I'm going to be dropping that on you guys. So let's get into the reviews. Alright, so I'm going to do things a little bit differently this week. What I'm going to do is I'm going to post a video for DC and Marvel, and then I'm going to record another video and post it for Indies. Alright, since I've got about 6 or 7 DC Marvel books and I've got 7 or 8 indie books, let's split it up. So depending on what you like, check that indie video out or stay tuned for this one. Let's see what I got. But first up, let's show an older book that I picked up off the wall that I've been looking at for a couple weeks now, and the owner of the store gave me a really good deal on it. It's going to be Detective Comics number 441. Guys, you absolutely know that I'm a huge Batman fan, and this Bronze Age Detective Comics and Batman series are probably some of my most enjoyable reads. I absolutely love going back and reading this, especially Detective Comics between issue 400 and 500. I'm trying to complete that run, and I'm around 50% done on that. Special thing about this, if you can read right here at the bottom, this is the first appearance of Harvey Bullock, right? Lieutenant Harvey Bullock, who is part of the Gotham City Police Department, guys. Alright, first up from Marvel, we're going to start with Marvel. This is a second printing that came out today. Didn't read it, but I absolutely love the cover, and I'm going to get into reading it a little bit later with all the hoopla going on with Blade here recently in the new movie that they've talked about. I had to get this Wolverine versus Blade second printing. Man, this cover is amazing, and it really reminds me of those X-Force covers that came out, I don't know, about 6-7 years ago, right? Where Wolverine was part of the X-Force and he had Psylocke on that team. Archangel was on that team. Really digging this. And look at the back where you got the red with the moon. You got a vampire on there. Dude, this cover is super hot. Alright, next up, a big book that a lot of people were going out there, a lot of people were talking about, and that's going to be Silver Surfer Black number 3. This has been an amazing read, right? The first 2 issues were really great. The first one, you know, it was good, but the second one really got me into the story, and I absolutely enjoyed reading that one. And the third one, this one, was just as good. Donny Cates is writing it. You got Tradmore on the artwork, which the artwork, some people like it, some people don't like it. You know, really depends how you feel about I guess the color work and the art on it. It's different than what we're used to in comics. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the artwork. I'm enjoying the read. I'm enjoying what Donny Cates is doing with this. In this issue, we've got Silver Surfer joined up with Ego, the Living Planet, who he met up with in the second issue. And Ego is having a hard time because he's saying that he's a young planet, but he's in pain, and he's telling Silver Surfer that there was something that fell onto his planet and has dug itself into the core, right? So Silver Surfer says, if I go in there and I destroy whatever this is that is causing you pain, will you help me destroy? No. And Ego says, yes, I will help you. You just got to go in there. But I don't know if you're going to be able to survive in the core. You know, it's so hot and it's dangerous in there. Silver Surfer goes in. I don't want to tell you what he finds in there, but it's pretty big. It's a big issue, especially that last page kind of reveal. This might be one of the really key issues to go and get. Silver Surfer Black, guys. I'm really enjoying this read. Let me know what you guys are thinking of it. Next up on the list, we've got Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 9. I grabbed the B cover because these covers right here, which Marvel's going to be doing a few of these, really reminds me of those 80s covers that they came out with the border of all the superheroes, and in the middle there was like a portrait of one of the heroes. I've got a few of them, and I really like this one, guys. Miles Morales Spider-Man. I picked up issue number 8 because I'd heard that there was going to be a first appearance of a new villain, and sure enough there was. And in this one, it's less of a story of Miles Morales and more of the story of his father and his uncle Aaron going out there to save him, right? They know that he's been Aaron knows that he's been kidnapped. He kind of has an idea of where he's at. So his dad, right, Miles Morales' dad and his uncle go out there to save him. And if you didn't know, Miles Morales' dad isn't just some regular Joe Schmo jabroni dad. He is an ex-SHIELD agent. So the guy knows kind of what he's doing. In this issue, they go into this building, ton of action. Uncle Aaron actually gets a brand new costume, a new Prowler costume. If you didn't know that either, Miles Morales' uncle is the Prowler. He's a villain. But they're going in to save Miles in this issue. You get more of that of an appearance from that villain that we talked about from issue number 8. It's good, man. Miles Morales Spider-Man, and issue number 10 is going to be a really big one to get. It's an oversized issue. I think it's the 250th issue for the Spider-Man title, not necessarily Miles Morales, but Spider-Man. And there's going to be a villain that comes back from the Ultimates universe, and a new villain, they say, is going to be revealed, guys. So stay tuned, man. Issue number 10, that's going to be a big one. All right, guys, the one that I was looking forward to the most from Marvel, and that is Powers of X number 2. This, right, as we know, Hickman has been kind of redoing what we know about X-Men. And he's got House of X and Powers of 10 coming out. Every week it's kind of going back and forth. Although next week it goes back to Powers of 10. So I don't know what's going on there. They're doing 2 weeks of Powers of 10 and then 2 weeks of House of X. I don't know why they switched it up like that. But this issue right here, it wasn't as good as the last 2 or 3 issues, right, of this whole House and Power of X. The reason we get this whole Powers of 10, because you're kind of doing different timelines in this book. You get year 1, where Moira McTaggart is kind of telling Charles Xavier about what she's been through, and they're talking to Magneto. Charles Xavier lets Magneto kind of see the same things that Moira had shown him. Then you get into the 10th year, where the X-Men are kind of doing their thing in Krakoa. They've already established their island of Krakoa. Then you get into the year 100, right? So 10 times 10 is 100. Year 100, there's some craziness going on there with Nimrod, which is a villain I don't really know too much about as far as X-Men go. And then it goes even farther into the future, year 1000, right? 100, power of 10 times 10, that's 1,000. If my math is wrong, guys, let me know. But even farther into the future, we're getting some a crazy looking world, a futuristic world with, I don't know if they're, I'm pretty sure their bad guys are out there to kill or exterminate the mutants. I think it's too much. House of X is great because it's focusing on one thing at a time, but Powers of X, I'm not always the biggest fan of when a book just throws too much at you as far as this is with the 4 different timelines. And it's probably all going to make sense in the end, right? But if you're reading it one floppy at a time, it might be too much to truly understand and truly enjoy, which is the problem that I had with Powers of X. I think this one was not as good as the first issue of Powers of X, and definitely not as good as the first 2 issues of House of X, guys. Let me know, did you read Powers of 10? What did you think of it? To me, it was okay. It wasn't the best out of the 4 that have come out so far. All right, guys, let's move into DC. Book I'm always picking up every other week. That's going to be Detective Comics. This is issue 1009, and you got Mr. Freeze on there with Batman, which might actually confuse some people because when you read it, you don't get Batman versus Mr. Freeze. In this issue, you're getting Deadshot versus Batman, right? Deadshot has got this contract. He's supposed to take out this plane, and on the plane is Bruce Wayne and a bunch of other million billionaires on there that are going over to China to try to sell their companies to some Chinese conglomerate. So it confuses me that you got Mr. Freeze, and I understand that it's the whole year of the villain. At the very end of this issue, you get 3 pages on Mr. Freeze trying to revive his wife, Nora, who has been in this like coma and frozen while Mr. Freeze tries to get a cure for whatever is wrong with her. I'm not a huge fan of when comic books do that, right? They give you the cover, and the cover has literally nothing to do with the inside of the book. I get the B covers. That's just an artist's take on those characters. But the A cover should have just a little bit to do with what's inside the book, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Detective Comics, kind of digging where they're going. Deadshot, he's a cool villain. Not one of the best ones in the Batman universe, but cool nonetheless. Peter Tomasi doing a great job writing Detective Comics as opposed to you-know-who, the one that we will not name, writing the Batman series. So, Detective Comics, guys, it's been a really good series, especially, man, about 10 to 15 issues even before issue 1000. It was rolling, man. Just a great series to read. All right, next up on the list, this is yet another 6-part issue miniseries that DC is throwing out right now, right? And it is Event Leviathan, written by Brian Michael Bendis. I went ahead and just got the A cover because it has Batman on it, and anything that has Batman on it, Edwin the Comic Jabron's gonna get. But let me tell you something. This is stagnant. It's very slow, kind of boring a little bit. That last issue, Batman is interrogating Jason Todd Red Hood, who Batman and Damian Wayne believe is this new Leviathan character. So that ended with Jason Todd being confronted with all these detectives, right? And it looks like they're going to get no battle, which is exactly what happens here. In this, you kind of get 2 stories at the same time. The story of how that battle and how that fight happened, and then the other story is the aftermath with all those detectives and Lois Lane. They're inside the Fortress of Solitude, Superman's fortress, and they're kind of retelling that story. And how did Lois Lane get a few minutes alone with Jason Todd to ask him a few questions? It's all told in this, and we still don't really understand what's going on. Now, Amanda Waller has become a bigger problem in this world. Amanda Waller is always an issue. She is the leader of the Suicide Squad. She is the creator of Argus. Amanda Waller always up to no good, and she's up to no good again here. What is her dealings with Leviathan? You do see a little bit of Leviathan in this as far as who this character is, but we still don't know who is underneath the mask. I'm kind of curious to see, is it somebody that we know, which I was hoping it was going to be Jason Todd, but I don't think it is anymore, or is it a brand new character? You guys are just going to have to keep reading to find out. All right, next up, I know I said I was going to leave Indies for another video, but this is a DC book as well, and it's from Dark Horse and DC/DC. It's the Black Hammer Justice League issue number 2. Like I told you last time I reviewed this series, I had never read a Black Hammer book before. I didn't know anything about that universe. I don't know anything about those heroes, but Justice League I know a lot about. And I've always heard Black Hammer is a very good series to read. So I wanted to take this time, these issues, to get me into jumpstart, right, my love and passion for Black Hammer. And let me tell you, I'm into this, man. I like it, right? Black Hammer is in one universe, Justice League is in another, and you get this man with this black hat, and it is not Rod the Rican. He goes in and offers to switch them places, and that's exactly what happens. Some of the Justice League goes into the Black Hammer universe, and they believe, although they've only been there for one day, they believe they've been in there for 10 years, living their lives. Batman Bruce Wayne is off trying to do his Batman things in a city, in a little town, podunk town out in the middle of nowhere that has no crime. But he's still patrolling the streets, getting told by the sheriff, Mr. Wayne, take your ass home. There ain't no crime here. And what does Bruce say? Well, let me tell you something, Sheriff. Last night, there were 3 cows tipped over on Mr. Abel's yard. I mean, it's insane. I enjoyed it. I laughed. You got the Black Hammer now over in Metropolis in the DC universe. And the little girl whose name is Gale, which I believe she looks like a little girl, but she's actually an adult woman. she's cursing, right? She's cussing, and I want to say in Dark Horse they allow curse words to just be written about. You know, you can say the F-bomb and S and all that, but in DC, you know, they kind of scribble it out, or they put symbols in place. So she kind of breaks the fourth wall when she's saying these things, and you see it scribbled in different symbols, and she's like, "What is going on? Why can't I say the?" And when she tries to say the F word, it just scribbles it out. Do you see this? What is going? I don't understand. It's cool. I dig it. I dig the whole fourth wall breaking. It's not big. She's not acknowledging the audience, which is us reading it. She's just acknowledging something in a word bubble that she can't say. I like that. I like that aspect of this. I grabbed this cover right here. This is the Tedesco Matteo Scalera cover, which I think is probably the best one out of the bunch. You got Batman on there. You got all the different heroes from both universes. Guys, Black Hammer Justice League is a definite must-have. All right, guys. Last up from DC, we got Batman and the Outsiders number 4. Guys, this has been incredible. I want to say, out of all the books that I read this week, this is in the top 2 for artwork. I think the artwork in this is amazing, and I've talked about it in past episodes, that the artwork reminds me of like watching an anime, right? It's like anime on the pages. As far as the story goes, awesome story. In that first issue, you got the first appearance of this new meta human, right? Sophia Ramos, this Hispanic female that's gotten these powers, and Ra's al Ghul is out there to try to bring her into his world instead of letting her get to Batman. And Batman and the Outsiders are out there trying to save her because she has made it to the country where Ra's al Ghul is the emperor or the king or whatever the hell he wants to call himself, and he's teaching her how to fight. He's teaching her to protect herself, and he's giving her a name, and she has a badass costume in this. She has an awesome costume that she gets in this issue, and I want to say that her name from now on is going to be Babylon. That's what he calls her at the end, but I'm not sure if that's going to be her name or if that's what he's saying Batman and the Outsiders are coming to save her from, is Babylon. Not sure, guys, but this is a definite must grab for you guys out there. It says Batman and the Outsiders, but it's much more than a Batman book. You're getting much more of the story of the Outsiders, and Batman's just kind of a footnote in there. Guys, Batman and the Outsiders must pick up. Alright guys, that's it. That's my new comic book day pickups and reviews for DC and for Marvel. Be on the lookout because I'm dropping this on Thursday and my Indy reviews are going to be on Friday. So if you want to know what I picked up, did I get Once in Future? Did I pick that book up? You're just going to have to stay tuned. It's coming out on Friday for you. And remember, this is your first time watching, hit that subscribe button. Hit this card right up here. Go to that video from last week and enter into my giveaway, guys. There's literally nothing you have to do except watch that video, like, and comment on it. I want in. So, until tomorrow when I review indies, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.